Alrighty, welcome everybody. It's Tuesday night and we are ready to do some stamping. So welcome, my name is Julie Brown. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and my site is called Julie's Creative Stamping. So if this is your first time with me, make sure you like, follow, bells ringing, all that good stuff. Most importantly, make sure that you know you can comment. You can let me know you're here. If you have any questions, you can type those in. I usually do the live on Facebook and then I post it to YouTube, but you can still type in comments on the YouTube video. I will see them and answer them as soon as I see them. So let's get started. I'm going to get some housekeeping out of the way and then we will get going tonight. So first off, for this month, that is my hostess code. You can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. My email is juliescreativestampin@gmail.com, and then my Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram pages are Julie's Creative Stamping. On the YouTube channel, you have to type in juliebrown.Julie's Creative Stamping, and then always make sure you check out that blog at stampinjuliebrown.blogspot.com. That is where, like tonight, I'm going to show you a bunch of cards that I made with this suite. But I'm not going to show you a video on how I made them, but I will be putting those on my blog. So make sure you check that out. All right, so let's look at what we're going to be doing tonight. So we're going to be working with Your Biggest Fan. And I had a lot of fun with this set. But the last card I made is actually the card I'm going to do for you tonight because it is so different than what you would expect from this particular suite. So first let's talk about the suite. So the suite comes with the stamp set and the dies. And then it also includes, sorry, I thought I had it where I could reach it easily. And some of this paper is in pieces because obviously I've made a card with it today. But it comes with this really fun designer series paper. And so this is one side and then this is the other. And then this one side, and you get two of each of these, and then this side. And this paper works really good to like just cut out circles and it looks like baseballs. And then we've got this really fun print. And here's that side. And then we have this fun print with this side. And we've got this print with the baseballs. And remember, I'm just showing you one sheet of each, but you do get two. And then we've got this side. And then we have the baseball field image. And then this is just like blue, Night of Navy blue pinstripes. So really fun paper. So I want to talk about these two papers for, oh wait, sorry, let me show you the whole suite. And then it also comes, and you can see I've used some of these, it also comes with these resin stars, which are really fun. And then it also comes with a Baker's Twine, Fans Baker's Twine pack. So the suite is the stamp set and the dies, the designer series paper, the resin stars, and the Baker's Twine. Okay, but I want to talk about these two papers here because what's really cool about these two papers is our dies. Let me show you. So here's this one. And so there is a die that will cut out this piece. And there is a die that will cut out these pieces. So this die cuts out this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece. And then of course these little ones cut out all of these other pieces. And so like this piece right here, you can still cut it out with this and then just cut off this bottom part. And so I did that. So I cut them out and I have a little bucket now of all of these little pieces that are cut out from this set. Now on the other paper, let me see if I can get this back in here. It fits just right. So on this paper, I actually hand cut this one out, but this die here does cut out this one. But I did hand cut these out just so that I would have a bunch of them. And those are a lot of fun too. And it really didn't take a lot of time to do that. So let's look at some of the cards that I made with this suite. I'm doing this a little bit different than I normally do for you guys. Because, whoops. Normally I make the card I'm going to make and then I show you the other cards, but tonight we're doing it a little bit backwards. And please excuse if things, hey Shanine, please excuse if things start getting wonky because my puppies are running around tonight. So anyway, so here's a couple of the cards that I made with this suite. So here's the first one. And so I took from that designer series paper, I used that die and I cut all of these little pieces out. And then I just stamped on this here. Of course, this is designer series paper. And then I brought in the Slim Sayings sentiment for this one. So there's one card that I've made. Now again, I haven't demonstrated the card I'm making tonight because it's way out of the box. So wait till you see it. Okay, and then this was a fun one too. Again, I just kind of did a little fun fold card with this. And then you can open that up so it says congrats to the graduate. And this actually, again, comes from, so that comes from the Slim Sayings. It's this one right here. And this one has some dies that go with it to make those long slim cards. And then this was a little bit big for me to do a pocket here and to put like a gift card in. But if you put some mini glue dots on the back of your gift card, you could stick it right there and they would be able to get it out and then it would close. So that you could put a gift card in that. All right. And then I did this card. And again, this is one of the dies. And this is one of the dies. And this is stamped and then cut out. And then just says, hope your day is a grand slam. So this one is like a Father's Day. This one is a graduation. This one is a happy birthday. So I hope you're seeing how many different sentiments I'm getting from each of these. Now this next one I brought in. Do you guys remember that hats off bundle that we had? So this one I brought in the hats off bundle. And then this, the way I made this was in this stamp set, there is this little tiny, again, don't forget your tiny stamps, this little tiny stamp right there. And so I basically just kind of stamped that all over a piece of Very Vanilla. And then I stamped the hat image over that and cut it out. And I really like this on the background here. And then I did happy birthday 3 times. And some of these designs I did pick up from some other, let me see. I thought I wrote it down. I'm trying to see if I can find where I wrote. Yeah, it's Kim Plays with Paper. And that's where I got this design from. But she did it in a bunch of different colors or different colors than I did. You know what? I don't know if I even have that. And then this last one, I wanted to do something that was kind of for the girls, right? So again, using the designer series paper, I did pull in some of the 2021 through 2020 through 22 designer series paper. And then I just did the Magenta Madness and brought that in. All right, so there's that one, and it's a happy birthday. So you can see that you can get also, I mean, we've got a girl's birthday, we've got a Father's Day, happy birthday, congratulations, and this one just is another happy birthday. So tons of versatility with this set. But this one, I pretty much stayed within the color scheme that it showed us in the catalog to go with because obviously I was using the designer series paper. But the card I'm making tonight is going to be a baby card, believe it or not. And wait till you see this one. I'm going to show you some really fun techniques as well. So let's get started on that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to bring in a piece of Very Vanilla. Now the reason I'm using Very Vanilla is because that is kind of what was going with all of this designer series paper. I could have used white, but I decided to kind of stick with the Very Vanilla just to kind of see how it would come out. And so the first thing I'm going to do is for this card, I am bringing in the Time Worn embossing folder. Let me get this where you guys can see it. And so we're just going to take this, but we're going to do some fun stuff with this piece right here. So we're just going to take this and we're going to put it inside the embossing folder. And I always like to make sure that my little Stampin' Up label is facing up. And then I'm just going to put that on there. And remember, oh, I almost forgot. I got to take off number 2, because when we're doing 3D embossing, we just need the plate number 1, then the embossing folder with the paper, and then plate number 4. And we're just going to roll that on through. All right. And so let me just get all of this out of the way. I think I'm going to be going back and forth a little bit tonight with, I tried to do a lot of the die cuts ahead of time, just to save some time, but there are a few pieces that I'm going to have to cut out with you guys. Okay, so we're going to take this out of that embossing folder. And I don't know if you've ever seen this one, but it gives it a pretty cool texture. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go along the edges, and I'm just going to tear it. And I'm going to keep it, you know, as close to the edge as I can. And the reason that I ran it through the embossing folder first before I tore it is because that actually helps with being able to tear it. It like makes the paper a little more pliable, so it's a little bit easier to tear. So you're just going to try to stay as close to the edge as you can, and we're just going to go all the way around. I didn't think about this. I probably should have had one by the magic of TV, right? Should have had one ready. But you can see this is going, you know, this is pretty quick. You just have to just tear, and sometimes it'll come loose, but again, if you're going to emboss it with an embossing folder, I always suggest you do that first before you tear it, because it just makes the tearing part a little bit easier. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be bringing in our water painters, and we're going to be putting some flecks of color onto this. I don't know if any of you have ever done that before. I'm sure some of you have, but we are definitely going to, whoops, work with that. And again, you're just going to go all the way around, tear, tear, tear. See, I guess this is where it's good that when you're not watching a live and the people, I don't ever edit any of my videos, so you guys get to see the whole long process. But, you know, sometimes that's good because you can just see that it's just, you know. And the reason that I'm pulling, and so you'll notice, if you want the rough edge, you want to pull towards yourself. So, that's what I'm doing here, because that's how I want this rough edge. Because if I were to do it away from me, then it would kind of look like it does in the back with, I kind of want where you can see that the paper's been torn, if that makes sense. Hey Brenda, welcome, welcome. So I already showed all the cards that I made with the sports fan, and I'll bring them back in at the end, but this one is going to be a design that you wouldn't think you could use with this particular set. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I am going to bring in a clear block. Now you can do this with a clear block. You can do it with your silicone mat. Either one of these will work. And I may do it off the silicone mat just because I think everyone's used to seeing it done off of the block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take Smoky Slate, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, and I'm actually going to put some ink onto my silicone mat. And I know it's really hard for you guys to see that, but it's right there. Now, the nice thing about using the blocks is that you kind of know what color you're using. Then I'm going to bring in my water painter, and I'm going to make sure that this tip has water in it. So I'm squeezing, and then see how there's the water. You can see it. Okay, but I don't want it real wet. And then I'm going to pick up this color off of the silicone mat. So just another use of the silicone mat. Then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to hit it on my finger. And let me, you know what, I may have to go in closer for you guys. I don't know if you'll be able to see the flecking until I get it on there really good. But I'm just like tapping it against my finger, and that is making it put these little flecks. And let me see if I can bring this closer. So can you see the flecks on there? So it just puts those little flecks. So I'm going to pick up some more. And again, this is Smoky Slate. And you're just tapping it to make the flecks go on there. Okay, so now I need to wash this off because I'm going to bring in a different color. And to wash it off, you just squeeze it, get the water down there, and then you can even bring it over here to make sure it is cleared. And now the next color I want is basic gray. So I'm using the two different grays. You know, one's a little bit darker. And again, I'm just going to push this into my pad to get some of that color onto my silicone mat. Everyone always asks me, what all can you use your silicone mat for? Just about everything. So now I'm going to pick up some of this basic gray. And again, I am just flicking. Now this one you're going to be able to see a lot better because it's darker. But I wanted both colors on there. Hey, Patty. Okay, so now I have flecked, and you just kind of keep going until you're happy with what it looks like. So that's what it looks like when you put that flecking on there. And again, I'm just using one of our water painters, and you guys saw that I put the ink onto my silicone mat, and that's all it took to be able to do this flecking technique. All right. And then all you have to do on your silicone mat is you just come in with like a baby wipe, and you can just clean off that ink really easily. Again, I love my silicone mats. I use them for so many different things. But thus, again, one more thing you can use that silicone mat. So just from a show of hands, how many of you have actually done this flecking technique before? And how many of you was that the first time you saw how to do something like that? So let me know if it's your first time doing it or if you've done it before. So now I'm just going to turn this over because this is wet right here. And we're going to bring in our card base. And we're going to... Now remember, we're using the Hey Sports Fan tonight. And then I'm just going to take this and, oh, nope, before I do that, sorry. I want to go ahead and go around because I want these torn edges to kind of stand out. So I am going to bring in a dauber, one of our sponge daubers. And I'm just going to, oh, so Patty, you've done it a lot because you like that look. So I'm just going to go around these edges just to kind of make that torn edge look stand out a little bit. And I'm being pretty light-handed on this. I don't want it like super dark. I just want it to have enough of a distinction here. I mean, you know, why tear it if we're not going to make it look like it's been torn, right? Okay. So that was with Smoky Slate that I did that. Okay, so now I'm going to come in, and because this is a textured piece of paper, I am going to be using liquid glue here. But you'll notice that I do not go all the way to the edge. Part of it is that when you put this glue on, if you get globs like that, it'll push it out. The other part of it is because I do want this to be a textured look. And so I don't want it all to like sit down exactly flat on this card front. Okay, so we've got this down. Okay, so the next thing that I did was I cut these little strips. So this is this die right here. So I took this die from this Hey Sports Fan, and I cut out these little strips of stickers. And I did it in Petal Pink and Pool Party and Smoky Slate. So now we're going to take these, and you can see I've already put my dimensionals on it. And so now I'm going to take these, and we're just going to get that paper off. And then we're going to be laying these onto this card front. Now, this is just my trick on how I am able to get it kind of evenly spread out, is I will get my first one up here, and then I kind of lay, like I lay them upside down, kind of where I think they're going to go. And then I can kind of bring them in just to give me an idea of how far apart I'm going to want these placed. So I'm going to get them all on there, and then this just kind of gives me a guide for how far apart. And that doesn't mean I get it perfect even when I do this. So now I can just kind of move this one, and again, just remove those paper backings. And then I'm just going to come in here and stick that one like so. And then we'll just pull that one off. And same thing. So I'm just going to be going up and down. So I don't know where all of you guys live, but here in New Mexico, we had probably one of the worst windstorms that we've ever had here. We had 71-mile-per-hour winds, and I was actually out with a Stampin' Up booth at a car show. Luckily, we were inside, but it was just crazy here. Just crazy. But what was impressive was there was a person there that had this little, he was selling like car accessories is what he called it, but he had a tent that like fit on the top of his car. And he had been telling everybody, when people were asking, oh, it can withhold, 100-mile-per-hour winds. And so everybody kind of kept running out to see how this tent was going to hold up. And sure enough, it didn't tear, it didn't bend. It, now I don't know what it would have been like trying to be in that tent on the top of that car with that wind being that crazy. But by golly, it withstood that wind. I was impressed. I have to say, I was impressed. Aren't these little tickets cute on this? I'll get them a little closer so you can see them, because it kind of looks like, when you go to like maybe the carnival or something, and they give you those tickets to ride all the rides, and they're all attached. So let me bring that closer so you can see. See, aren't those cute? They're so stinking cute. Oh, so it's still cold in Wyoming. Ooh, okay. Okay, so the next thing that I did was I cut out, or no, I think we're going to do that together. Is that yeah. Okay, so this one we're going to do together. So I'm going to set this aside. And so I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to use this, I call it a flag banner stamp. And we're going to ink this up with Smoky Slate. Yeah, the weather's been a little cray-cray lately. And then we're going to just stamp this right in the middle here. Like so. I really, after playing with this, I didn't get to play with this one for a while because of this car show. Brenda, I think she's on here with us, actually had borrowed this suite from me so that she could design some stuff with it. And so I didn't get to play with it until today. And I just had tons of fun with it. But I wanted to show you guys, just think outside the box. When you look at these stamp sets, think outside the box. So we're going to take this little hooray, and we're going to stamp that like so. Now, I do want to point something out to you. So you'll notice I'm using Balmy Blue ink, but I used Pool Party paper. Now, what happens when you stamp onto Very Vanilla is it kind of changes the color a little bit. And so when I stamped the Pool Party, it looked a lot greener. And so to get it to match, because I don't know if I can get that close enough, but to get it to match the paper, I actually had to go to Balmy Blue. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're using the Very Vanilla. Sometimes when you stamp something, you're going to think that it's like supposed to be Pool Party, and then it doesn't look like Pool Party. Okay, so now we're going to cut this out. So let's bring in that die cut machine. This is the time I could use my little one, but I've used my studio down here is quite a mess because I've got a lot of it picked up from the car show, but I still have stuff all over the place. So we're not going to have our little one over here tonight. All right, now what did I do with the dies? Here we go. All right, and so again, I'm just going to get this lined up, and then we're going to run this through. Yeah, I guess it is springtime, so I guess we should be expecting wind, but we've just never really had it quite that bad here before, so it was a little crazy. All righty. Okay, so then so that's what that looks like once you have that cut out. Pretty cute, right? All right, and so I'm going to bring this back in because I did this ahead of time so that you guys didn't have to watch me do all the coloring. So this is another one of the tickets. So that's what that looks like once you have that hold on. Pretty cute, right? All right, and so I'm going to bring this back in because... Sorry, 1 second. I don't know why it started playing on my... Okay, normally it doesn't, you can't hear it on my computer. So this is one of the large ticket dies, and so this stamp comes from one of the most underused stamp sets that we have in our annual catalog right now, the Wildly Adorable. I love this set. So again, I just brought this in, I stamped it in black memento ink, and I ended up using Balmy Blue instead of Pool Party. And then I used one of the new naturals, and I believe it was the, let me see, whoops. It was the light 900 that I used for the skin tone on this. And so what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to bring this in. And because I've already popped this up, I'm obviously not going to be popping this up. So I'm just going to cover the back of this pretty good with some liquid glue. And then I'm just going to lay this at a slight angle on this card front and just kind of push that down easily. And I also cut out, this is like, you don't need the end of the banner because obviously it stamps it, but I just wanted to put this as kind of an extra accent here. And so I'm going to go ahead and put a little liquid glue here. And then we're going to attach, this obviously part of the die set. All right. And then this one, I'm going to be setting kind of up here. So I'm going to be able to put liquid glue down here, but I do need some dimensionals up here. So I'm going to grab a big dimensional for right there, and then I'm going to cut one of these edges right here to stick in this section right there. And then I'm going to be doing liquid glue along the rest of it. And again, I'm only popping up the section that's going to be hanging off of the tickets that are already on there. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this on here. So this one I kind of want on here straight, but I also want to be able to see the top of this little ticket right there. All right. So that's going to go on there like that. Then I'm going to, this is a small ticket from that same set. And I am going to bring in one of the sentiments from this Wildly Adorable set. And it says, "Welcome, baby." So the reason I did this card is because I owe my team a swap. And this is the swap. So those of you on my team that are watching tonight, this is the card you're going to get with full instructions. Obviously, I'm videotaping it, so you can always go back and look at it here. And so we're going to do the welcome baby there. And so same concept. I want to put it right here where it's overlapping. And so I can see that I need a dimensional on the bottom. So this time I'm going to use some mini dimensionals because I don't have as much clearance down here as I had up here. And so then we're going to put that liquid, hey Connie. So we're going to put that liquid glue up here. So anyway, so yeah, so I needed to design a baby card. And so I wanted to use the Hey Sports Fan dies to do this with. And hopefully you guys are going to like it. I think it came out stinking cute. Alrighty. So the other thing is this has a little die. Let me show it to you. So I've used this die, and then I pre-cut this one and this one. And then this one cuts out all these little tiny stars. Cool beans, right? And so I am going to just stick some of these stars, and you guys know that I take my I take this glue and I put it into one of these so that I have a little tiny I can get a small amount out. Okay, so I'm going to just pick up one of these stars and we're going to stick it right here. So I'm basically just going to go back and forth here. And we're just going to grab some of these stars. And there is an up and a back. So I am, when you see me like taking it off the Take a Pic tool, I'm turning it around because they have like a little bit of a embossed feature on this front side, and that's what I want. So we're going to add these little stars. Okay, that one was already face up. And again, I'm just kind of going back and forth, and I'll probably come in and fill in a few. Trying to see if that was the upside. Because I always try to do an odd number. Remember, I've taught you guys, always try to do an odd number. So I'm trying to get like my main stars that I want on here first, and then I'll go in and fill in where I feel like I need to fill in with some of these stars. And like I said, the reason you see me taking it off the Take a Pic is because I'm turning it over. So I'm just placing just a little dot of the multi-purpose liquid glue. And then we're sticking stars. Whoops, that one stuck to my hand. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have an even number. So now we need to play a little bit. So I don't want to put them like right in rows with each other, even though I kind of did that over here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come in so we get some offset here with some of these little stars. And we'll just get a couple of them offset. So we'll do one like right here. Oops. I must have some glue on my hand because it keeps trying, these keep trying to stick to my hand. And I think we'll do like one that's not like directly in line with those. So we'll grab one of these little itty bitty ones here. And stick that in there. And so let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that would probably work just fine because I've got 9 of them on there. And then, but see how cute that looks with those little, adding those little stars. But that's a really fun die because it cuts out all those little itty bitty stars. And then for the inside of this card, basically I took a piece of Pool Party. And like I said, I'm stamping with Balmy Blue, and I colored with Balmy Blue because when I tried to color with the Pool Party, because I'm doing it on Very Vanilla, it didn't match as good as using the Balmy Blue because Very Vanilla does change the tint of the ink. So we're going to bring this in like so, if I can get it straight. All right, and then I have another piece of Very Vanilla, and again, I've already stamped my little baby down there. Now, if baby cards are not your thing, I just want you to think how you could take this same design and make it for a birthday, make it for a friend, make it even for graduation, right? But it's about using colors and doing some stuff with these dies that is outside the box of the whole. And I actually got this idea from our artisan design team. Okay, so it just says little and loved. Let's clean that off. So are you guys liking this? Are you liking the fact that you can take this set that I'm sure when you first looked at it, you thought, you know what? I don't have anybody that does sports. I don't have anybody that likes sports. So why would I need this set? And I hope I've showed you a couple of ways to design this so that you can use these really fun dies in this pack to make something out of the ordinary. All right, so there is our card. What do you guys think? So it says, hooray, welcome baby, and then little and loved. So again, I hope I've taught you guys something tonight about thinking outside the box when it comes to these cards. Let me bring in all the other cards, and I'll just go over them real quick. So this one I brought in the hats off using the designer series paper. And then I brought in the hats off set. And then of course, this is just one I used with all the designer series paper. And you know, the ones I'm bringing you in, I stayed pretty close to just using the designer series paper. Again, this one was the one I showed you guys. This isn't wide enough to put a pocket and have it slip in a pocket, but you could take mini glue dots and still put a little, this is for a graduate, and still put a little, if you use the glue dots, you can put the gift card in there. And then this is just a happy birthday one, and this is using those dies to cut this out of the designer series paper. All right, and then this, again, I brought in some completely different colors. I brought in the 2020 to 2022 designer series, or in colors, to design this one. All right, so there's some of the possibilities that can happen with this suite. Again, you can see how different this baby card is, but that's what we need to do when we're looking at sets, because I love all of these banners, and I want you guys to look at this, you know, so here's all these banners that I cut out celebrate. This doesn't have to be sports. This can be birthday, an all-star. This could be anything. It doesn't have to be baseball. And then I love this one. You're invited. It has this really fun thing because down here it just says, let's get together and celebrate. So this is the designer series paper, and I cut it out with the die, and you can make little invitations for people to come and get together. And so you can see I've cut out a lot of this designer series paper with the dies. And so just a really fun set. And I hope I helped you to think outside the box with this little baby card. But again, this could have been for a birthday. You could have put a flower here instead of the baby, and you could still make this a beautiful flower. But look how fun these tickets and these banners and the dies are. I love them in this set. So I hope you guys liked this. I hope I was able to show you something that you hadn't thought about with this particular set. And so I didn't really do like the new stuff that's coming out, like the masculine new stuff with this set, because I wanted to pull in some of the sets that are fixing to retire. So that Wildly Adorable is going. I think the Slim Sayings is going, and that's the one I used for a lot of the sentiments. So I want you guys to be thinking about, what, and I think this particular set is going as well. So, we only have a week before this stuff, we can't get it anymore. Now, this particular set should be good through June. It's always while supplies last because it's in the mini catalog. The mini catalog is good through June, so it should still be available. But that Wildly Adorable that I used to make this card is it's going to be on the stuff that is, once May 3rd gets here, it's gone and you can't get it anymore. So anyway, one last time, if you guys do need to place an order this month, there's the hostess code. And you can order through me at juliebrown.stampinup.net. And all of these other cards that I showed you tonight, that very bottom, the blog, I will have step-by-step instructions on my blog for the other cards that I did tonight that I did not show you. So that's one reason you guys always want to go to my blog, because I have extra cards there that I don't always show you. Or I may just say, oh, look, I made this, and then that's the last time you see it. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you were inspired, and I hope I showed you something that you didn't quite think about with this set. Anyway, you guys have a great night. For those of you that are in our Paper Pumpkin subscribers, for anyone in my team, reminder that class is going to be this Thursday at my house at 10 o'clock. If you plan on coming, make sure you let us know as soon as possible. Brenda will be teaching the class, and she needs to know ahead of time how many kits to make. So if you're planning on being here, please make sure that you let us know for that. That'll be this Thursday at my house at 10 a.m. for that. And then for those of you that don't live in the area that are Paper Pumpkin subscribers, for my that you're my customers, we have a special Facebook group, and we will be posting all of the cards that she makes. So basically what we do, it's an alternative card. It's not showing you how to make the ones that they give you the directions for, but Brenda will be making some alternative cards. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a great night, and I'll be seeing some of you on Thursday. Talk to you soon. Bye.